I promise. I'll make you proud. Yo, you doing okay? No, I'm not okay, Professor. I just spent like 2 hours in there writing a confirmation mail, and all I have to show for is this. Wait. You say confirmation mail? Don't you mean confirmation email? Drats! I knew I was missing a letter in there. Well, it's a good thing I'm here. Why don't we make a confirmation email together?
Professor T is coming in to save the day. He's gonna show you how to set up your Stan store. It's like we're always stuck at 0 leads. But when you implement these steps, you'll be up in GMB.
All right, so you want to know how to write a good confirmation email. Well, you came to the right place, but I got a little bonus surprise for you. We're also going to learn how to write a good and solid checkout page in this lesson. So let's get to it. Now, before we actually get into building it out, I want to highlight the importance of both a checkout page and a confirmation email. So the checkout page is the page right before your customer is going to put in their credit card information to buy your product. Now, this is where we're going to do most of the selling, but I don't want you to just only list out like the specific things you'll go over, let's say in your guide or your coaching call. You need to paint the picture with some transformation. Something that's a little bit more high ticket, like a course, for example, something that's going to take them a little bit longer to actually complete. You really need to hit them where their pain point is, tell a story, kind of relate to them, have them imagine a point in time where they might have felt a struggle, and the course that you're selling can actually solve that problem. So that's what you really need to outline in the checkout page. And then in the confirmation email, this is sent right after somebody purchases your product. So you want to make sure they feel taken care of. It's the first thing they'll see after they purchase it. It'll contain whatever product it is. So if it's a coaching call, then it'll contain like the meeting time. If it's a course, then it'll contain the actual course login. If it's a digital download, it'll contain the download. I would highly recommend making them feel seen, making them feel supported, and maybe guiding them on the next steps on how to actually best use that product they just bought. All right, now let's go through some examples. So I made 3 different products to show you what a checkout page and a confirmation email would look like for a digital download, a course, and a coaching call. Let's get started with the digital download. So this specific product that I made is revolving around the fashion niche. So specific products that someone who's into fashion might sell to their customers and audience members. So take the learnings here and apply it to your own niches and your own products. But anyways, let's start with the checkout page. So for something like a low ticket digital download at $19, it's a lot more accessible than, let's say, like a $100 course. So you don't necessarily need to write as long of a checkout page because there's a little bit less selling involved. Obviously, you always want to do as much convincing, persuasion, and selling in each checkout page, but there is sometimes a point where if it gets too long, a customer might get fatigued and not want to read the whole thing. If you're able to distill down the value of this digital download or this low ticket product into a few bullet points, a short description, and a trust signal that they'll be okay, like if they wanted to return it, that you got their back there, that'll be enough for them to actually take the leap and purchase it. So feel free to screenshot this and keep this safe. You don't always need the 30-day money back guarantee, no questions. Like this is an option. I'm not going to include it in some of the other examples that we have, but if you are that confident in your product, then you should be fine to offer this. Now, of course, there might be the outlier people who try to like get a refund no matter what, regardless if your product is good. Just, be cautioned with that. But it does give your customers high confidence that you know your stuff if you're able to be so confident that you'll give them a 30-day refund. So this is the exact template I would follow at first. You can test it out. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't, maybe you do need a bit more of a longer transformation. Small little tweaks will vary based on your niche, your product, your audience, and also the price of your product and what you actually offer in it. So those things will all factor into the equation, but this seems to work for a lot of creators on Stan. Next is the confirmation email. And the reason why the confirmation email is really important is because it actually contains the product file or product link redirect so that they always have access to it. And it's also your first piece of communication to your customer almost instantaneously after they purchase the product. So it's kind of like a good way to welcome them, make them feel even more trusted, and to maybe guide them on how they could best use the product they just bought. So your subject line right here, have fun with emojis, make it fun. Like you don't need to make it so serious unless that's your brand. Like, I don't know about you, but if I saw an email with like some nice emojis and some excitement, like I think I feel a lot more excited to like dive into the product. So do with that information as you will, but I highly recommend making it more fun. These purple blurbs aren't actually going to be saying those things. So it's not going to say, hey, customer name. It's actually taking it directly from what they put in the checkout page. So it'll say like, hey, Jessica, for example, or hey, Aaron. The product file is going to be whatever product you actually have here. So like I said, this is why it's so important, is because they can bookmark this email and always have access to the product if they can't find it again. But the main thing is that can be very powerful and like really helping them get guided through whichever product they just purchased from you, is to walk them through where they should start. Likely, they probably want to start at the front, or if maybe they want to dive into a specific topic faster, you can maybe highlight like page 7 of the guides. If you want to learn more about the color palettes first, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I would just add a few bullets and just guide them, because it'll make them feel seen even more. And it'll also help them maybe get the best use out of it from where they're at exactly in the journey. You're not going to know always 100% through a digital download where they're at, but maybe you can just help them, help guide them to the right place at the right time. And then they'll just feel like, wow, you as a creator are just taking care of me so much more. And the last thing, but not least, of course, always sign off with your name. You can add some more excitement, but I would say the main thing here is to make sure that the product file is there. You're welcoming them in like a very warm manner. And then you have these few bullets of guiding them on how to use the product properly. Now to the course product that's priced at $97. So because this is more expensive than the digital guide at $19, the checkout page is going to look a little different. This one's going to take a little bit more selling to actually convince your customer to buy, which is why you're going to want to have these extra few points. So the first thing would be a relatable scenario that hits a pain point. Kind of like meet them where they're at, outline the issue and the struggle that they might have experienced, and then transition into what this course can solve for them. So you kind of want them to be in the headspace of imagining like when they felt the highest strain of their pain point, so that they can feel open to the solutions that this product has to offer. And after you transition there, you can do a very brief outline of all the modules that this course can cover, so they get a bit of an idea without giving too much. If you want, you can like tease a couple lessons in each of the modules, but I would usually keep it as like, okay, how many lessons are there? So hence the brackets 4 lessons, and then more just like the title of each one, so they can understand whether this course is for them or not. And last but not least, outlining the transformation and the end outcome of what would happen to them after they finish taking the course. Now for the confirmation email, kind of similar to the digital download, but because the nature of a course has more contents to go through, you can probably be a little bit more guiding with where they can start, or you can just outline that it's made to be self-paced, like however you might want to write it. So once again, you got your subject line here, the warm welcome, the course link, the personalized customer name. And here, once again, we have the bullet list of where they should start and how they can best use it. So I said watch module 1 in the next 48 hours. You can add supplemental materials in a course product. So if you have those and you want them to read up on that first, if maybe they're at this stage in their progress, adjacent to like maybe another customer who might be at this stage, then you might want to outline like where those specific customers should start. And then here, this is just a little fun thing, but if you want to highlight wins from your customers and you really want to like start to build some more testimonials and just like share their success stories, you can also add something like share your win on socials and tag me and use this hashtag, and I'll repost it to my my Instagram story, and things like that can like really help build more of the community. So those are the kind of things you want to put in your confirmation email for your course product. And last but not least, let's go through the coaching call example. So this one's priced at $99, but obviously the price will vary based on what you value your hourly rate on and what you're offering and where you are with your business. But let's just go to the description body of the checkout page once again. So same template, relatable scenario that hits a pain point, transition into what this call can solve, what you'll actually cover in however time frame long your call is. And then I usually like to finish with like one more push to making them feel excited to hop on a call with me. And finally, we can finish up with a confirmation email for your one-on-one coaching call. I would leave the subject line as is, just so that it pulls your username, the customer's name, and the product name automatically. But then the body's where you can have some more fun. So once again, have some fun with the emojis. Make sure that you have the meeting date and meeting time personalized blocks here, so that it actually keeps whatever time they actually booked with your coaching call. And then once again, just to be as productive as possible, to give them a bit of guidance and homework so that they can come to the call as prepared as possible, I'd probably write down a few bullets of what they can prepare, what they can maybe send ahead of time, what they can start to think about, just so that, like I said, you make the best use of the time. They feel like, okay, now I can start moving towards the transformation even before the call. It just makes them feel like, okay, there's more value out of this. They're already guiding me before you even talk for the first time. So whatever those bullet points are for you, definitely put them there. And then if you are going to record the call, then feel free to also provide them with the full recording, because then if they didn't note down absolutely everything from the call, then at least they can look back at it later on and essentially have that piece of value for them for as long as they want. But there you have it. Now you know how to write more compelling checkout pages so that you can actually convert more customers. You know exactly how to take care of them with that confirmation email and make sure that they know what the next best steps are.
So you're telling me I could have done all of this in a couple of minutes?
Yep, it's that easy.
Well, shucks. What would I do without you, Professor?
You'd be just fine.
But I want you to know I'll always be here for you.